Go ahead, tell me the story.
They're rehearsing at Zoetrope Studios for the 1984 record, or 1984 tour. He's hanging out with Pete and Terry. Pete Vlasic, Terry Novo. Pete Novo, Terry Vlasic. They had old high school friends, Pasadena guys, right? So in the course of getting drunker than shit, Pete, Eddie gives Pete the guitar and says, "Pete, you've always been a great friend of mine. I want you to have this guitar." And Eddie never gives away guitars that he's either played on a recording and that he's ever used for recording. He just doesn't do it. So he gave this to Pete. And this is in Rudy Lear's own words and Terry's own words written, right? And plus I have, you know who Paul Unker is? Paul Unk, Guitars by Unk? He built his first 12 when he was working at Kramer. I have a certificate from him who says, "Yep, this is it. This is the guitar that," or are you videotaping?
Yeah.
He says, "This is the guitar that I built for Eddie. Here's my stamp." And it says Paul Unk, 1983, I think, in the 1982 in the neck. So Pete signs it. Eddie signs the guitar to Pete. A little later, Terry says to Pete, "You know what? I've known Eddie longer than you have. I introduced you to," something like that, and says, "That guitar should be mine." They get into a big argument, and everybody's more drunk. So Eddie finally says, "Look, Pete, give the guitar to Terry. I'll give you something else later." So Terry gets the guitar, but it has Pete's name on it.
Which is why that signature is blotted out on the front.
Right. So that's
So
why
someone took a rag and tried to just rub it off.
Terry did, right? So it's like, fuck, I got a guitar, but it says Pete's name on it. I'm just, it's not as sweet, right? And so Terry gets the guitar, keeps it for a while. Terry has a drug problem, and trades it or leaves it in the hands of a dealer. I think a coke dealer trades it for an 8-ball or something, and never comes back to get it or something, or just trades it. The coke dealer has it for a while and then puts it in the recycler back in the 80s, right?
Right.
Late 80s.
People go ape shit for it, huh?
Eddie's guitar, and nobody's biting on it. Some kid calls up the recycler and calls up and says, "How do I know this is really Eddie's guitar?" He goes, "It is. Don't worry. I trust me." And so they take it to Guitar Center. Who's it? The Groshen brothers. Those guys look at it and go, "Oh my God, how did you get this guitar?" And he goes, "If I were you," he goes, "Is this real?" He goes, "Yeah, this is the guitar." He goes, "How did you get it?" He goes, "If I were you, I wouldn't even sell this." So as a result of that, the guy, Terry, or the dealer, tells Terry, or tells the guy, actually it was Terry who did this, tells the guy, "I'm not selling it, I'm keeping it." But then later he gets hard up for drugs and trades it for drugs. Later, after that, it came, the guy who had it then sold it to my friend at the Gear Trader in Huntington, who knows Eddie, who knows Matt, sells a lot of products to Eddie, a lot of guitars and stuff. And Matt Brock says, "Yeah, that's the guitar." And I've got emails from Zeke and from Matt and from everybody saying, "Yep, that's it." And then I saw it in 1980, I saw it 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And my buddy said, "Do you want it?" I said, "Dude, I can't afford it." What the price he wanted for it then might as well have been $1 million. But 10 years later, I called him up and said, "Find that guitar for me." And he did, and I bought it then.
Who had it at that time?
Another guy who bought the Hot for Teacher video guitar, the guitar that Eddie used for the Hot for Teacher video.
And he was in Southern California? Or?
San Diego, yeah.
San Diego.
And he bought it, and he sold this one back to me. But he bought this one I paid double what I should have. I paid more than double for what I could have bought it 10 years earlier.
Well, that's definitely one to have, brother.